Hello guys, it's trying to knock out as many videos as I can in one day, try to upload them separately, probably have them all up by today or tomorrow. This is a KWC Cybergun Colt Railgun 1911. I believe it is fully licensed. This is the stainless version. They have, I think, 4 models. They have the stainless, they have the black, they have the dual tone, and then they have the tan, which is based, I believe, on the Marine Recon 45 pistol that they issue, which I might get, because I have to say, out of all the airsoft pistols I have, besides the Glock, which I'm still testing out, but I love this one so far, because it's just, the weight is almost 1-to-1. It just feels like a real 1911 in the hands. Well, I know a lot of airsoft pistols. This doesn't have a magazine in it, and it is heavy. I mean, obviously I have an RMR on here, but it is hefty. It is beautiful, and it just sounds amazing. So, this is a CO2 powered pistol. The stainless one comes with a silver finish type magazine. If I could find one. Boom. I have not been able to find silver replacement magazines. Not too big of an issue. But you can get the regular KWC 1911 magazines. I believe they're around $29. For this gun, they will fit, I believe, all KWC CO2 gas magazines will work in this gun. So I think you call it the 1911 TAC or something, the 1911 Tactical, the Elite Force, the Colt Railgun, all those mags are compatible. This gun is powerful, it shoots hard, obviously, because it's CO2. Pretty much the internals are okay. I've had about 2 of these. I had one that broke. It could have fixed it. Instead, I just got a whole new one. I used that other one as parts because it was kind of dinged up, messed up from overuse. Obviously, why it broke and wasn't able to work. That one broke because I was dry firing and letting the hammer down by hand. I'll show you. I'm not going to do it a lot because I know that's what broke my other one. But when you go to decock the gun and lower the hammer, I want to do that. What it does is it just creates too much wear and grind on the sears and the other ridges and bumps and stuff on the actual hammer and the trigger assembly. And I know for these guns, finding replacement parts is hard. It's hard to find for replacement parts that will fit in here and work. So that's one of the big downsides for this for me was it's hard to find replacement parts. So that's why I sort of have this other Glock, 1911 that's just fully stripped. I have it down to all the pieces in the bin, and it's just my parts bin. But yeah, that one broke because the hammer it wouldn't stay cocked. The notch that holds it in the cocked position wore out so much it wouldn't be retained, so it would just fly forward. But yeah, it's an ambidextrous safety, single action. So pull the trigger. It's only if the hammer's down, you pull the trigger, nothing's gonna happen. It's only a double action, single action. Beaver tail safety. Functional. I've had a KJW 1911 in the past, and their thumb safety worked for maybe about a couple days before it just stopped working. But yeah, if I try to pull the trigger, cock it. You try to pull the trigger without pressing down on the safety, it's not gonna fire. Press down, boom. So that's a good feature. I always like it. I don't really, this safety, the actual lever safety, has a tendency to not stay in place since the retaining pin is just sort of weak on mine. But yeah, Let's go on to upgrades. It comes with it's a little lighter than what I have right now. It's a little fake wood or pretty much plastic grips. They're alright, they look pretty decent, but this one, I got these off, I think, Amazon. You just search up ambidextrous full-size 1911 grips and you'll pretty much find them. Took a little bit of sanding and working to get them fit because unlike a real 1911, you have these bumps or notches in here to accept the CO2 12 gram cartridge. So there's also a bump on the frame. So you gotta sand and grind out a bump in the wood so they will fit nice and flush. But other than that, I mean, it just looks way better and it's nice. I like the darker look anyway. Then I also have a black outer barrel. This comes with a chrome outer barrel. It's the chrome outer barrel's okay. I think there's a little too much flash on this gun. For a very showy gun, it was cool. But for more of a tactical piece, I went with black. It's I think it just made it look more. Made it look less toyish having a black outer barrel. This outer barrel is actually KJW outer barrel for 1911, which took some extensive grinding to make fit. There is I believe, KWC black 1911 outer barrel you can get. I had one, it broke. The threaded part on the end broke, and also I'll show you in a bit, a piece on the inside of the outer barrel broke and caused the whole gun to jam up. So then I had this old KJW 1911 barrel laying around for years when I used to have a KJW 1911. So I decided to see what to do to make that one work, because I wasn't too adamant on putting back the chrome outer barrel. So I'm gonna go take this apart. No mag. If you want to know how to take apart 1911, there are tons of videos online on how to do this. So I'm just gonna do this quickly for you guys. I don't want to waste your time. I'm gonna try to give you a bunch of stuff you can already find or probably already know. If you want me to go in this kind of stuff, then I will definitely be happy to let you guys know and show you. There we go. With the new outer barrel I have in here, you can't take the whole inner and outer barrel assembly out at one time. So you gotta take out the inner barrel assembly and then take out the outer barrel. And something is loose. Oh, that's nice. There's a screw missing in my 1911 hop-ups. Yeah, that hole right here, that there's supposed to be screw in here like there is on this one. Not too much of an issue. It's pretty much just to hold it together when you're pretty much taking it apart. The outer barrel assembly will actually hold it together, and so will the actual internals of the lower frame will hold it together when you have it assembled. Here, I'll show you. So you slide the inner barrel assembly in, and that's how it would sit when the gun is assembled. So there's actually a very tight slot that this fits into. So if you're missing the screws, don't be too bad. Let me see if I can fix it right now. This, which is missing a bunch of screw heads and stuff because I'm not so good at keeping track of small parts and stuff like toolkits, but this little tool thing right here, let me see if I can get it better. You can find that on Amazon. I'm missing a whole bunch. I'll probably order another one. It's like, I think, around 20 bucks. It comes with a whole bunch of sizes of mini hexes, torque screws, tamper-proof torque screws, Phillips, flats, all kinds of little, even little socket heads for hex bolts. Hex nuts and stuff. This is great for both airsoft. I mostly use it on my RC stuff, but this does help a lot with some of my airsoft stuff. But yeah, let me just try to find a Phillips in here or something so I can fix this real quick. I don't want to lose the last screw I have in here. There should be a Phillips head. Like I said, I'm missing a bunch of the heads on here, so. But they're cheap. They actually don't even really last that long. If you actually want to properly, you know, fix stuff and not strip screw heads, you want to make sure the actual screwdriver head you're using hasn't been used a lot, because it tends to wear it down and then cause it to strip. I've done that a lot. So usually by the time I get down to here where I've lost most of the bits I use, I get another one. I save all the old bits separately just in case if I happen to need them, but since the ones I barely use or don't use at all, they just sit in there. But I sometimes use these small bits I don't use to pry into holes or dig out stuff. But yeah, so back to the hop-up assembly. You can see there's a lot grinded out. I had to grind out a bit back here. That I think came all the way out to here, so to grind that out. All of it is just to get it to fit. This notch right here, this angled notch, is for the little pin on the hop-up assembly, which most airsoft pistols have, to allow it to move inside, up and down. But yeah, so this took a lot of work to file. I had to make one. I had to make this fin slimmer. It was a lot thicker before. I had to make it slimmer so it would all fit. It takes a lot of work, a lot of putting it together, taking it apart, trying to see where it's not fitting correctly, and then finally I got it to fit. But yeah, this took a lot of work. The next part that really upgraded and that took a lot of work was the RMR. Right now, this RMR, I got it off wish.com or whatever that app is for like $30-some. Took like a month to arrive, coming from China. It came with a quick release 20mm Picatinny rail adapter, and also came with a Glock adapter for like Glock airsoft pistols. So yeah, pretty much what I did is you can take out the whole rear nozzle assembly with that one hex screw in the back here, the firing pin. Take that apart. There's a Phillips screw that you take out that takes out the old original rear iron sight. And then pretty much you have a flat surface on the top where the rear sight was. I filed down the mount a little bit so it sit nice and flush on here, and then I drilled 2 holes. Well, actually I drilled 1 hole. The hole for the original rear iron sight, I just had to make it a little bit bigger so I could fit a screw in there, and then on the front here, to keep it from twisting, back and forth like that, I just drilled another hole down into here and up through into the actual base of the gun. I made sure everything was lined up, and then I drilled a hole straight up or straight down into the mount. I had the RMR off, of course. I didn't drill into the to the sight. I drilled down, tapped the holes, put a screw in. Then I noticed if I tried to put back the nozzle assembly back in, that front screw up here towards the front was not allowing this to sit flush. So then I had to kind of grind the nozzle assembly, because the whole nozzle assembly is a metal housing pretty much for the nozzle to move. So there's probably about 1.5 to 2 millimeters of thickness of metal there. That is pretty much not necessary. So I drilled out a hole big as the screw head. The screw head I took and I filed down to make it a little bit flatter without damaging the actual slot for the screwdriver, and it fit. Like I said, it takes a bunch of work. I'm not about to disassemble the whole thing to show you, but if you guys really do want a separate video on how to do this, I will definitely try to do it and show you how I do it. A lot of this I want you to try to do yourself, especially custom stuff like this. You know, you guys try to do it yourself. The more you know about your own gun, the better you are at being able to do stuff like this. You know what you can get away with, and obviously what you can, and a lot of that is just trial and error. So I'm gonna put this gun back together. Can be a little pain sometimes. There we go. Sometimes it wants to work, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But yeah, a lot of the stuff I usually buy real steel parts, and they usually work because with a lot of gas blowback weapons or gas or just realistic airsoft replicas, a lot of the stuff they have is mil spec or actual spec of real guns, like, you know, buffer tubes, grips, stuff like that. And even sometimes sights are 1-to-1, which I'll get to in another video on my KM870. That I was actually very lucky when it came to upgrading the iron sights on those. I actually used real Remington 870 Magnum fiber optic sights. Yep, this is my heavily upgraded 1911.